Where are they now? The top 20 best college football quarterbacks from the 2019 college football recruiting class 6 years later. Well, to start at 20 is Dillon Gabriel coming out of Milani, Hawaii, who committed to play for UCF. And he was a good quarterback in his first 3 years at UCF before transferring to Oklahoma, where he also became a great quarterback in his 2 years with the Sooners. After that, he transferred to Oregon, where he had his best season in college football in his 6th year, as he was named the Big Ten MVP and a first-team All-American. And he set just about every record in college, being picked in the 3rd round of the 2025 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns, where he's had a solid start to his rookie season. And just in front of him at 19 is Jaden Johnson, who committed to play for Southern Miss. And he never played at all there, transferring to Missouri State, where he was very bad, and then transferred to Prairie View A&M. And sadly, in his last 2 years of college football there, he was just overall never that good, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns in his career. And coming in at 18 is Davis Beville, coming in at Greenville, South Carolina, who committed to play for Pittsburgh. And he just never really got an opportunity in his 3 years at Pitt, transferring to Oklahoma in 2022. And he also just never really did much in his 2 years with the Sooners, transferring to South Carolina in 2024, where he was also just a backup quarterback and is now currently working as a franchise owner. And at number 17 is Zach Calzada, coming out of Buford, Georgia, who committed to play for Texas A&M. And he actually got to start in 2021 for the Aggies, where he was solid before transferring to Auburn, where he didn't play in 2022, and then transferring to Incarnate Word. And in his 2 years at Incarnate Word, he was flat out dominant, being named the Southland Player of the Year and an All-American. So following that, in 2025, he decided to transfer to Kentucky, where he'd be their starting quarterback, but has been extremely bad. And coming in at 16 is Gunnar Cruz, coming out of Queen Creek, Arizona, who committed to play for Washington State. And he was really only ever a backup quarterback at Washington State, transferring to Arizona, where he got to see a little bit of playing time in 2021, but was overall had a very underwhelming college career. And cracking into the top 15 is Brendan Clark, coming out of Virginia, who committed to play for Notre Dame. And in his 2 years with the Fighting Irish, he was also just very underwhelming, mostly just being a backup quarterback, transferring to play for Old Dominion in 2021. And in his 1 year of college football at Old Dominion, he was also extremely disappointing. And at number 14 is Cam Jones, standing at 6'7", 255 pounds, coming out of Lexington, Kentucky. And I said that because he committed to play quarterback before transitioning to play offensive line, as Cam Jones completely transitioned in college, standing at 6'8", 330 pounds, and currently just transferred to play for Jacksonville State, where he's been starting on their offensive line. And coming in at 13 is Jacob Clark, coming out of Rockwall, Texas, who committed to play for Minnesota. And he just never really got to play in his 1 year with the Golden Gophers, transferring to Missouri State. And he's played 4 years of college football at Missouri State, actually becoming a pretty solid starter for them in 2025. Alright guys, real quick, if you're enjoying the video and you like this type of content, just make sure to follow. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps me out immensely. And at number 12 is Brian Maurer, coming out of Osceola, Florida, who committed to play for Tennessee. And he got to see playing time in his first 2 years with the Volunteers, but was extremely bad, transferring to play for Stephen F. Austin in 2022. And he was a solid quarterback there, but was just kind of underwhelming, retiring from football in 2024, and is now currently working as a roofing and solar sales specialist. And coming in at number 11 is Ty Evans, coming in of Maumont, Colorado, who committed to play for NC State. And he was